Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Pavan, an Olympian and beach volleyball world champion and a longtime professional indoor player.
And I'm Adam, former indoor player and coach, current beach volleyball coach, and most importantly, Sarah's husband.
Well, set one is done, and our man, Utajima, you take your pick. We use them all in this household. Scored 11 points.
That'll do it.
Just half the team's points in one fell swoop.
I mean,
yikes.
But the thing that I take away from that episode is I just love how the middle ended the set. I just love everything about that because he seems kind of quirky, kind of out to lunch, a little dopey, and then all of a sudden he just drops his hands in there, stuffs him for the game, and looks at him and goes, "You're gonna have to come through me first." There was just something about that interaction that I loved.
He made a big move.
Oh, big move. And he's long. He reminds me of one of those players who you don't realize how tall he is because he's kind of hunchy and his arms kind of like drag to the side a little bit, and then all of a sudden he's up and just drops them in. You're like, where did that come from?
Or those people who look normal size, but really their arms are like 2 times their height. Like their wingspan is 2 times their height. And it's just like, wait a minute. You're actually built like you're 7 feet tall, but you're like 5'11".
Yeah, totally.
So here we go. Hopefully, like, Noya started to find a bit of his rhythm. He was kind of a disaster, but like near the end you could see he was kind of starting to figure it out.
Well, and so one other thing I do want to talk about, because there were a lot of comments about this, was how hard is it to actually play defense against the lefty if you're not used to it? And people were wondering, is that a thing? You know, how does that translate? And I mean, you can speak to it, but it's different. You're used to playing against people and lining up a certain way, and visually when you see things, your body is just conditioned to go to a spot, to put your hand somewhere, and then all of a sudden that doesn't happen. It takes conscious effort to look at the other hand, to line up in the other way, to understand the angles. It just takes more time to process than it does with a right-handed player because you just don't see that many of them. So it definitely is a thing, and then you add on top of that he's higher and hitting faster than probably any other player that they've played against. There's a definite adjustment period.
Yes.
That's what I did to people, but yes.
No, it's because like volleyball's a game of angles, like Adam said. And so when you've played long enough, you just have this understanding of like, based on where the ball, if you're blocking, based on where the ball is, you know where to be. And then based on where your block is, if you're playing defense, you know what is available to somebody based on what you're seeing. But like, and everybody just is ingrained to process it for right-handed people. So lefties, the angles change dramatically.
Yeah.
So yeah, he explained it well. It is a thing. But here we go. We're hoping that they can limit Utajima like just a smidge. Like let's aim for 8 points instead of 11 or 7.
And I think that was a good goal by Coach Ukai. It's like, let's focus on the biggest problem, the 11 points. And if the rest of the team beats you, so be it, but at least you've made an adjustment.
Yeah.
So I like the strategy.
Okay, I'm putting all the good vibes out to the Karasuno boys. So here we go. I believe we're starting set 2. So season 3, episode 3 of Haikyu, Guest Monster, is coming right now.
Come on, boy.
It went up! Gotcha!
And look how long he is.
Okay, much better start. We started 5-0 last set.
ゲスって何？白鳥沢の5番ゲス野郎なの？目つぶしとかしてくるのかな？気をつけてひなた。それじゃあ反則だね。レオさん、ナイスー。影山ラスト。もう一本止めたね。ブロックはさ、止める技術じゃないよ。ストム、ストレート締めて。
Little show and take action, baby.
Okay, I know we just started, but I want to talk about that blocking technique because I think it's really cool. And
Because I think it's really cool.
And well, but no, because we've been having some conversations about volleyball, and this is a super high level skill. You see it a little more in beach volleyball than you do in indoor, I think, because normally you have bigger blocks. But I like what he's saying in terms of I'm giving you something to look at so you think it's available, and then I'm taking it away. And his timing of dropping his hands into that open space is really good. I mean, you can talk about as a hitter, because I never saw the block, but you see the block, so you can.
Me. It breaks my heart.
I was kidding. I saw the block from the left side, not from the right side.
Okay.
But just in terms of as you're going up, what you're looking at, and then how difficult it is to play against somebody who's that disciplined.
Oh, putting me on the spot.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Wow. First of all, I want to say that's kind of risky because your defense needs to know what you're doing up there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a solo stud move.
Because if you're in middle back playing defense, you need to know that he's going to leave the seam available so that you stay there, but that's a whole other issue. Basically, when you're hitting, you can see the blockers, you can see their hands, and so a lot of players, because they can see that, you're swinging for the space beside the block. Because the thought process is, okay, here's the body, the hands are gonna be like in that general vicinity. So you're swinging to avoid where those people are. So because his timing was so late, Kageyama made the right swing based on what his eyes were telling him. But as he started his swing, like you can't change your mind. Like the only thing he could do once he started his swing is like to tip it maybe. But like, the timing was so perfect that even though it was available to make that move at the last second, like he was literally there, it was hopeless.
Yeah, I loved blocking, so that to me was just textbook. I loved everything about it.
It was a good move. It's a very satisfying skill.
He's gonna dump.
No, he faked setting back. Did you see him lean?
Yeah.
And then go forward? That was another great move because his hands went opposite where his body momentum was going.
That dude's legit. I'm making notes because he's gonna be a pick in the draft. He kind of reminds me of Ryuk.
Yeah, you said that last episode.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, they're twins.
That's what I thought he was gonna do. But you notice how the middle paid attention to his eyes too.
実際コートにいると混乱もするし、頭で分かってても動けなかったりするんだよな。でもあいつは動けてる。
I mean, they haven't played players that are that creative yet.
No.
Everything's been just like pretty, not vanilla, but kinda.
カラスノのセッター相当うまいやつだろ。なのにあの視線はわざとらしすぎ。
Yeah, he's picking up on things. He's playing mind games, and he's making them guess what he's doing.
若年君、俺の方が目立ってごめんね。
問題ない。
次、一本切るぞ。日向切り替えだぞ。次決めたね。おっ。おい影山、顔どうした？
I mean, that was a good attempted fake by him with that body lean, but like, yeah.
あの5番、なんでこうも続けざまにブロックを？
先生、リードブロックはわかるよな。
トスがどこに上がるのか見てから飛ぶブロックですね。
ああ、リードは読むって意味じゃなく理解する的な意味だ。ボールを見てから飛ぶんでトスに振られる危険はない。反応は若干遅れるが、そこをブロック3人でちゃんと連携できれば最も万能と言える。俺たちは絶賛練習中だがな。それに対してあの5番のブロックの特徴は読みと直感、ゲスブロックだ。ゲスっつうのは推測って意味で、トスが上がる前に攻撃を読み、ほぼ直感で飛ぶ。
ゲス？
当然直感が外れることもあるし、下手をやれば味方ブロックやレシーブを邪魔しかねない。あくま
I don't think that's fair. I don't know that I like that.
I said the same thing when I watched it the first time. I was like, I don't think. I mean, if he's straight up guessing, then he's very good at guessing.
Then he's the luckiest person I've ever
Well,
seen.
yeah, and it kind of makes me, it takes away some of the respect that I had.
I understand what he's saying about guessing, but I guess the thing that I would say is he's picking up cues that is informing his decision about what he's doing, and then he's setting the hitter up to do what he wants them to do and taking it away. There's much more skill involved in what he's doing than just straight guessing where he's going, where they're going. That's the way I see it.
We don't know for sure, but we would presume.
Yeah. It would be very unlikely for him to get that many blocks if he's just straight guessing randomly, because there's so many variations of hitters, of positions on the block, of hand. Like, he's seeing something for sure.
But Ukai did say it could mess up the other blockers and the rest of his team by kind of doing what he's doing.
Totally fair. If his defense is not paying attention to what he's doing or used to playing with him, he's opening up holes in the defense, like you said about if he leans in this way and he goes into the seam and six back's not there, that's his fault. So it's definitely high risk, high reward, I would say.
Yeah, he's definitely hoping that his line of defense, that it stops with him. Because if not, there could be problems.
But I don't think it's fair to say from this so far that he's just straight guessing.
個人技頼みなブロックだ。が、あの5番、その読みが恐ろしく鋭いんだと思う。そして、その読みに反応できる体を持っている。奴の動きに即性はないと思った方がいい。考えすぎて惑わされんなよ。
トスを読まれないためには
High and hard in the seam, baby.
日向みたいに無茶苦茶なフォイントを影山も入れるとか面白くていいんじゃない？
もう一本ないさ
ー Okay.
短い。
どんなフェイクを入れようとも天童さんは
一糸乱れぬってこういう感じを言うのね。
Oh.
Yeah.
ギリギリ。
Boo.
And that's Kageyama's ability to look the same no matter who he sets is the counter to this.
どこに上がるか全く分からなかった。
Give him a side eye.
俺の頭のど真上ぶち抜いてくるなんて相当な負けず嫌いだね。
Oh.
やっぱお前ら面白い。
Oh.
See, this is the problem when you're guessing.
やつの動きに規則性はないと思った方がいい。
Like he'll get some, but not. It won't be consistent.
それとこういう相手こそ左右の横幅目いっぱいだ。
Yeah.
よくうまくことよ。
Oh.
He's hit with a little more pace.
よっしゃブレイク。ひれた。ナイスキー。いいぞひれた。
思わず見とれちゃうような読ませないセッターは今まで何人か見たけどさ、あの10番のタイミングの速いことよ。ほんのワンテンポ遅れればもう届かない。
さっきの間違えたはスルーの方向かな。
最低です。
語尾が変だぞ天童。
影山もう一本ナイスさ。ナイスレシーブ。
Nice up.
Nice dig.
攻撃のチャンスだ。
Going the other way.
Nice touch.
When you need a point, you go to the big guy.
まさかフェイクを入れたのか。
Yes, he did. You did what he wanted you to do.
Yeah.
テラトリザワって本当理屈が通じない相手って感じだな。一体何なんでしょう。あの5番のブロック。
あいつは全部一人で止める気だ。
え？
天童のブロックはいわば点を決めるためのブロック。相手のスパイクをそのままひっくり返して自分の点にしちまう。だがな、単品で決めることだけがブロックの全てじゃない。今俺たちがやろうとしているつなぐためのブロックも決まってくれば得点に結びつく。
Yep.
いずれにしろブロックってのは決まるタイミングによってはスパイク以上の価値があるんだ。
なるほど。
Definitely momentum shifts.
Yeah.
Oh. Go ahead.
No, he's looking to score points and have terminal blocks on his own, but I think in the like broader sense, like, and I talked about this when I watched the first time, the block is the first line of defense that takes options away to make it easier for the defense in this back row. Like a well-oiled blocking defensive system, the block is taking away a certain amount of court and it's funneling the ball to the players in the back row. But this system is like, I don't want to say broken, but it's definitely high risk, high reward.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, he's Tendo. He's obviously had a lot of success, and at this level, the hitters haven't seen blocks like this, so he can get them early. And you want to lean into his ability. Like, clearly he sees hitters' bodies and he drops hands in. The next kind of iteration at the next level would be for him to get that well-formed block based off a read and then make his moves from there in accordance with what the team is doing. But he's definitely skilled, and we'll see. It'll be interesting because he's playing cat and mouse. He's moving on Hinata. He's giving him something to look at. He's playing the percentages. He's not guessing, but he's trying to set his opponents up for what he wants. And if that doesn't work, then it'll go. So it'll be an interesting back and forth between him and Kageyama about how often they can change.
Where's the third backup player? Oof, that's a really bad matchup.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was going into the stands.
So did I.
庶民を黙らす一発って感じ。牛若はやっぱ次元が違えな。攻撃を防ぐためにブロックは進化し、ブロックを破るために攻撃もまた進化する。バックアタック、攻撃の高速化、コンビネーションと攻撃は多様化され、するとブロックも飛び方やその配置を変化させ、攻撃を打ち破る。ここが頂点と思った場所からさらに上、さらに上と開拓してきた。
勉強したな、先生。
言葉だけです。
Just makes volleyball seem like such a beautiful game when he puts it that way.
Yeah. That's the cool thing about the adjustments once you're technical enough to do it. Alright, come on, boy.
Miraculous plays will save the team, but the same can be said about understanding.
Yeah. I actually think this is a good matchup because he's super disciplined.
Oh, nice.
Block. Ooh, Polish quick. Gotcha!
He got beaten on that in the first set on one.
Yeah.
普通の方です。一人時間さ。うちの野生児は騙せて、僕には通じないんで。よろしくどうぞ。
Yeah, boy. Come on. I love everything about that.
Chills. My palms are sweaty.
And he's weak.
Arms ahead.
Get him.
Okay, he just got overpowered a little.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Please keep thinking.
If that happens when we were playing, the comment across the net would be, that's a weight room issue.
Lightweight.
That's right. I knew I liked him for a reason.
I see you, boy.
That's right.
Very sweaty. I love that so much. Good
Nice
touch.
soft block.
Oh, dang! Shijima with the one-arm dig. Dude.
That's the key. Hit it slow enough that they can't decide who to take it. I mean, that's kind of funny.
We prefer mummy. I just want to say.
What do you want to say?
Tsukishima in that rally probably had like 3 touches. And while he will not get credit for those
Zero
touches,
credit.
I just need to say that as an opponent, that is so demoralizing and so frustrating. And even though he wasn't like Tendo getting the kill blocks, he's basically giving his team a free ball every time to run whatever they want. So those block touches are absolutely brilliant.
No, and I don't think people understand how hard that is. To take up your space and get a touch that your team can control, that's a skill. That's about being in the right position, good timing, strong hands.
And to understand what the other team's setter is doing so that you're in a solid enough position to get that kind of solid touch 3-4 times in the same rally, like that's unbelievable.
That's unheard of. Like he
needs some credit for
absolutely.
Those.
He's got a beer in the fridge at the bro house. But yeah, and I love the attitude that he's coming with. He's starting to get competitive. He's starting to throw the shade a little bit. I love everything about that for him. There are some people, go ahead.
Hey, I'm the normal guy.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
And he does it in his own way, which I love. You coach some people and you're like, hey, you need to talk less. You need to play more and you need to talk less. And then there are some guys where you watch and they throw a dig in there and you're like, attaboy. Like, you need to do that a little more. And I love that for him. It's your pinch server.
Drop her. Oh, baby! Surprise.
Setters always set each other. His mind is blown.
孫の代になっても変わんねえな。
ああ、カラスノのコーチは鵜飼先生のお孫さんでしたね。
They were probably rivals.
昔から新しいことこそが強さだと思っている。いけすかねえ男だわ。常にレフトの大砲頼みとは原始的な。全員で攻撃なんて無茶やるからフォローも何にもできんのだろうが。高校通毎年入れ替わるチームでやれることなんて限られる。良い素材を良い形で磨くことが効率的な道だ。
鷲城先生は昔から変わんねえ。シンプルイズベスト。高さとパワーを愛し、いつもアンテナを張り巡らせて
Alright, I understand a lot of comments now.
見出し集める。たとえ元のチームで弾かれたものだったとしても、鷲城先生の強さの基準にはまれば関係ない。そしてスパルタと練習量でひたすらこう鍛える。
でもみんながスター選手とはいかないですよね。
もちろんだ。牛島みたいなやつは一人入ってきただけで大当たりだろうけどな。牛島みたいな主力選手を文字通り軸としてそれらを邪魔しないのが
He's unstoppable.
白鳥沢のスタイルなんじゃねえかな。
What did you think of that?
He's definitely, the Crypt Keeper is definitely a volleyball purist. Definitely old school. I mean, you could look at him and know he's old school. He is definitely pure and elitist. So I can definitely understand his line of thinking. He's not particularly innovative. And I can see how he would look down upon other teams who don't necessarily have the like cream of the crop players who have to like find new and exciting ways to be successful. Like, I can definitely understand where he's coming from. But that being said, you have to give people credit where credit's due. Like, not all of us are Ushijima or Tendo who have those like physical gifts to go along with the traditional volleyball type abilities. So like, yeah, I don't know. You have to give people credit for finding ways to be successful if they don't fit the like prototype.
Yeah, I agree with you. So this is something interesting that I took from one of your coaches actually. And what he taught me was the best coaches make the best teams and players with what they have. And you have the ability to see the individual players and what their potential is, and then how those pieces fit together and get everybody to work towards that best style. It seems like the Crypt Keeper knows his style, went to a school where he will have the best opportunity to get that type of athlete, and just runs his system no matter what. No, correct me if I'm wrong, Shiratorizawa is like a sport academic kind of private school where they're probably doing recruiting.
But it's like his system is working for him, so it's like he has had no reason to have to change.
Well, and And so that's kind of what I'm saying is like he put himself at a school where he knew he could kind of roll with his system and get the athletes he needed. Whereas Ukai, it seems like Karasuno's not really a destination to go to. You're going to get whoever shows up and you have to deal with that. And I think a coach who can do that is probably a quote unquote better coach than the other way. But he's made himself successful. So I don't know, what do you say?
でも流れを引き寄せる手段はまだ残ってる。ナイスレシーブ。
This is a very
I mean, it's
tight
close though.
game. His angles bangs are quite stylish. Okay, baby.
You know, I was getting a little juice on that. She's unwell. Come on, Yami.
Yami? Yeah, baby. Get that routine.
あんなに自信満々なこと言えないけど力を貸せるところまでは来たよ
Totally. Look
Attaboy.
at those little freckles.
The Wiggler.
Yes.
Pick on the first year.
That's what they need. Break
Gotta
that
make it big.
formation.
He's good.
高いトス一つあればそれでいい。
Did it hit his foot?
Oh, I thought it got up.
これが強いということだわ。
バッキバッキに俺何を心だよ
Was that Tendo?
こんなこんなに砕け何をブロック精神をだよ相変わらず読めねえしつけえなメガネ小僧
先生
はいサーブでお膳立てされても止めらんねえのかよ
I mean, it's tough.
No,
when
that's
you-
what they wanted. They broke the formation. They had a triple block against Ushijima. That's like, that's all you can ask.
Sometimes you just come up against somebody you can't stop.
盛り上がりもするしな。でも完結させたがるなよ。苦しい時ほど一発で完結させたくなるだろうが、ワンタッチ、リバウンド、次のプレーをイメージすることを忘れるな。すべてのプレーはつながっている。
守りに入れってことじゃねえから分かってし
しつこく言うが、直接点になっていないプレーも後々効いてくる。せっかくの5セットマッチだ。ただ長くてしんどいなとだけ思って戦うなんて。
We're still playing chess here. Tanaka's got to get a little chirping going. He's got to get Nintendo's face a little bit here.
タイミング僕に任せてもらえませんか
That's your job, boy.
I have literal chills.
Yeah.
若年の配分ちゃんと考えろよ
Thanks for the pointer.
大丈夫です
Hey, don't forget to set the person you've been setting the whole match.
He's gonna miss.
Pickle Jinx! Darn it.
あの一番毎回
Nice.
Attaboy. We're in the game. This is my pinch server. He's gonna make something happen here. Maybe not.
Nice touch,
all you
baby! Yeah.
牛島ほんと止まんねえなカラスノのコーチ何を喜んでんだよ 全然止まってねえじゃん。
Yes, they did.
うん。
行くぞ。
Okay.
Go back. Nice.
Ooh.
サイセッターを狙ってな。
Okay, 3-man block, baby.
Wait.
ごめん
Wait.
重要なのはブロックの面積とタイミング壁を意識させろ
行きます。
Yep.
ゆっくり。
Make him tip it.
抜けた先には
Or right there.
Atta boy.
スーパーリベロ
Grounded.
プレーはつながっている
セット終盤やっと上がった貴重なレシーブ絶対こっち
No.
マジかよ
Nice. He left too early.
Hoggy almost learning on the fly here, baby.
やっと綺麗に決まったなトータルディフェンス
And this goes to what you were talking about, the block and the defense working together earlier in the set.
I'm getting emotional and I nothing like earth-shattering happened, but I could feel myself getting emotional in that play and I like was getting all teary.
Well, see, I mean, nothing earth-shattering.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But from a coach's standpoint, like watching that and the evolution and how they dealt with that player, I would be ecstatic if I was Ukai with how they played in this set versus the first set. It's night and day different. Like, even if they lose, you have to feel good about this.
Like calling the timing so the block is all on the same page. Noya finally just like
Strapping it on.
strapping it on and taking one. Controlling it. Like Kageyama not just trying to fake, but like kind of glancing at the other side to see the movement and just like the evolution in one set is crazy.
Well, and the other thing I will say is the attention to detail about the actual volleyball adjustments was incredibly well done. Like, all of that happens in a match. I know I keep saying this is like watching real volleyball. I feel like I'm game planning, watching film and taking notes.
Oh, I am so invested. I'm so invested. Like, even though I know what's happening, I'm still like stressed out. And I'm still like on the edge of my seat watching these plays.
I mean, I know people keep saying, oh, I can't wait until episode 4, but that was so much fun to watch. That was real volleyball in terms of adjustments and the interactions from player to player and the emotions. Kageyama, Suki, yeah, awesome.
Our boy is back. Our boy is back. Look how excited he is. I'm here for it.
Yeah, okay, just because I was a dud for one episode that I didn't like.
He's talking about a particular Demon Slayer episode. Don't worry, everybody. Okay. We loved this episode, clearly. So let us know your thoughts.
I feel like people are expecting a prediction on the end of the set.
It's 22 all?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your prediction?
I'm thinking
Let's just...
27
He brings it up and then he...
27-25 Karasuno.
Here's this man who's saying, you know what, if Karasuno hits 20 points, they should consider that a win. And now he's saying they're going to win a set.
Well, I think, so hear me out. I think that they've gotten a bit of a touch on Ushijima. And they're going to have to go to some of the other players on the team, potentially if he's in the back row. I think Karasuno has all the momentum in this set so far because they've played incredibly well. I don't think they're going to win the match, but I think they could squeak out this set. I'm going to throw it out there.
27-25, Karasuno in set 2. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. So let us know what you're thinking. Let us know your thoughts. I know we both are obsessed. We love the skill of blocking, so we kind of went wild in this episode. But we would also be so happy if you would like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned because episode 4 of season 3, Haikyu, is coming next week. Bye.